Assalamu alaikum dear viewers, hope you all are doing very well. So this video is created for 6th graders especially, where they are learning about area of quadrilaterals. So let's discuss what the area of quadrilaterals are, what actually quadrilaterals are, and then we will be finding the area of some figures that we firstly will identify which figure is that, and then we will be applying the formula for area to come up with the answers. So let's begin. Okay, so basically there is the family head, which is quadrilaterals, right? As the name speaks for itself, quad means four. Now quadrilaterals are the shapes that have four sides, four angles, and four vertices. A basic example can be a square. For example, let me draw a square here so that you can understand it well. So if you take square as an example of quadrilateral, see, a square has four sides, one, two, three, and this should be straight, four, right? And it has four angles, this one, this one, this one, this one, and it has four vertices, this, this. Now the singular of vertices is vertex, right? Vertices comes from vertex. Vertex is singular, and let me write it properly. Vertex is singular and vertices is plural. So inside quadrilaterals we have parallelograms, and we have non-parallelograms. Now again, you can see that this is self-explanatory. That is, parallelograms, you can see from the word itself that it has a word parallel. Now parallelograms are the shapes. Let's simply again take the example of a square. Now parallelograms are the shapes whose opposite sides are parallel. For example, if I talk about this side and this side, they are parallel. Now by parallel I mean that these two lines are never gonna meet, plus they have equal distance between them. For example, if I extend this line forward, if I extend this line, it will always have a distance of, for example, if I say 3 meter, it will remain 3 meters forever. But these two lines are never gonna meet. And if I talk about non-parallelograms, they are the opposite of parallelograms because they can have one of the side parallel, not both of the opposite sides. So that means for parallelograms the case is the sides, the opposite sides must be parallel, plus there is one more condition, they must be equal in length. For example, if I take simple example again of square. Square is a parallelogram. Why? Because in a square the opposite sides are equal, plus they are also parallel, they never meet. If you look at the two opposite sides, they never meet. And then we have rectangle. Rectangle is also a parallelogram. Why? Because both of its sides, opposite sides, are equal, plus again the opposite sides are parallel, that is the distance between them remains the same, and they never meet, right? Now again we have one more example in parallelogram, and that is rhombus. Now rhombus is some shape like this in which all the sides are equal. It can also be a square. Rhombus can also be a square, or square can also be a rhombus. But see, in this case we have both of the opposite sides parallel, they are never meeting, plus the opposite sides are also equal. That's the reason rhombus is also a parallelogram. Now when you talk about non-parallelogram, we have we have an example which is trapezium. Now this is trapezium. Let me draw one more trapezium which can look like this, and this is also a trapezium. Okay, now in trapezium, one of the opposite sides, like this one and this one, they are parallel. But the problem is the next side. For example, if you talk about this one, if you extend this side is not parallel, which makes it a non-parallelogram, because in parallelogram we discussed that the opposite sides must be, that is both the opposite sides must be parallel. But in this case one side is, but the other side is not parallel. Now if you look at this one, it's also, if you extend the line, if you extend this line, they are gonna meet somewhere. Same is the case here. If you will extend this line, if you will extend this line, they are gonna meet somewhere. So if they are meeting, then that means those two lines are not parallel. But if you look at these two lines, they are parallel. So this is what trapezium is. Now inside non-parallelogram, we have one more example, which is a kite. Again, kite is a non-parallelogram because see, the two lines are meeting at some point. They should not meet. Again, here they are also meeting. So this cannot be a parallelogram. Plus the opposite sides also need to be equal, which is not the case in kite. So this is what the description of quadrilaterals and inside quadrilaterals, parallelogram and non-parallelograms is. So now it will be easier for us to solve the exercise questions. Okay, so let's clearly write the formulas for the shapes, which are parallelogram, triangle, and a trapezium, because these three will be used in the exercise. Now, area of parallelogram is equal to base multiplied by height, and normally the figure which will be used for parallelogram is this one, right? Because this figure shows the opposite sides are parallel and equal in length. Now in case of area of triangle, we have 1/2 b multiplied by h, right? Now if you look at the parallelogram, when you will divide it from the diagonal, what this diagonal does is basically it converts the parallelogram into two congruent triangles, which means they are equal in size and shape, this triangle and this triangle. So that's the reason we write the area of triangle as 1/2 c. You combine two triangles and you get a parallelogram. So that's the reason area of triangle is 1/2 b multiplied by h. Now area of trapezium is a little different because trapezium is not a parallelogram. So it's basically 1/2 multiplied by sum of length of parallel sides and multiply by h. Now if you look at trapezium, it may look like something like this. Now these two sides are parallel, but these two sides are not parallel. So that's the reason we need to sum up the length of the parallel side, that is this one and this one, and then we multiply it with the height, which is this one, and then we half it to get the area of trapezium. Now looking at the question number 5, it says find the area of the following figures, and the first one is a parallelogram. How did I know? See, this side and this side, they are parallel, this side and this side, they are parallel, and I am given with a base and a height, and this is generally the figure used for parallelograms. So I can guess from the shape as well as looking at the sides that this is a parallelogram. So what was the area of parallelogram? Area of parallelogram is equal to b multiplied by h. It will be simply base is 25 and h is 10, and 25 multiplied by 10 is 250, and area's unit is always written in square meters or square centimeters, so I will be writing centimeter square as in the question I have centimeter. So this will be the area. Now when I look at part 2, it is also a parallelogram and it will also be done in the same way. That is, area of parallelogram is equal to again b multiplied by h, right? And b multiplied by h in this case is 16 multiplied by 9, and 9 6 is 54, 9 1 is 9, 144 centimeter square, right? Now when you look at the third figure, you can clearly see that it is a triangle, and area of triangle equals 1/2 b multiplied by h, right? Now I will be taking half of b multiplied by h, and b multiplied by h in this case is 5 multiplied by 12. Now 5 2 is 10, so that is 60 divided by 2, which is equal to 30. Again I will be writing centimeter square as I am finding the area. Now the fourth part is also a triangle, and area of triangle equals 1/2 b multiplied by h, and it will be 1/2. The base is 18 and the height is also 18. Now 18 multiplied by 18 is, what is 18 multiplied by 18? Let's do 18 multiplied by 18 so that we get the answer for this question. Now 18 multiplied by 18 is 324. 324 divided by 2, which is 162 centimeter square, right? Now if you look at part 5, it's basically a triangle. This dotted line shows the height, this one is the base. So let's write the formula for triangle. The area of triangle equals 1/2 b multiplied by h. Now 1/2 base is 6 multiplied by height is 15. Now what I see here is 6 is divisible by 2, so I will cancel these two. That is 2 1 is 2, 2 3 is 6, and then I can simply multiply 3 and 15 and I will get 45 centimeter square. Coming to the next figure, look at this. These two lines are gonna meet somewhere. That means it's of course not a parallelogram, but it's a trapezium. So that means I have to apply the formula for area of trapezium, which is equal to 1/2 multiplied by sum of length of parallel sides multiply by h. Now 1/2, what is the sum of length of the parallel sides? Firstly, I need to know which the parallel sides are. This one and this one, these two are the parallel sides, and it's given 20 and 35 centimeter. So I will be writing 20 plus 35 here and multiply by, what's the height? The height is 14. So it will be 1 half. 20 and 35 gives me 55, and then I have 14. Right now again I can see that 14 is divisible by 2. So what I will do is 2 1 is 2, 2 7 is 14. Next I will multiply 55 with 7, and I will get 385 centimeter square. Now when I look at part 7 is also a non-parallelogram, that's a trapezium. Why? Because see, if I will extend this side and if I'll extend this side, these two sides are gonna intersect somewhere, which will make it a non-parallelogram. So it's of course a trapezium. I will be writing the formula for area of trapezium. Area of trapezium is equal to 1 half and multiplied by sum of length of parallel sides and then multiply by h. Now it will be 1 half. It is 17 one side's length and the other side's length is 21 and the height is 15. Right now it will be 1 half. 17 plus 21 is 38, and then I have multiplied by 15. Now see, 38 is divisible by 2. What I can do is 2 1 is 2, 2 1 is 2, 2 9 is 18. Now I will be multiplying 19 and 15, and I will get 285 centimeter square, and which is the answer. Now looking at the last part, now carefully, if you will look carefully at this figure, this is also a parallelogram. You don't have to confuse yourself with this dotted line. This dotted line is here to show you the height. Now the height here is 5.5 centimeter and the base is 7.5. So just simply multiply 7.5 and 5.5. So let's do it. Area of, this is the 8th part, area of parallelogram is equal to base multiplied by height, which is 7.5 multiplied by 5.5. Now if you think decimal multiplication is difficult for you, what you can do is forget the decimals and multiply it without using the decimals, like this. 75 and 55. 5 is 25, 5 7 is 35, 36 37, and then 5 is 25, 5 7 is 35, 36 37. Right now you will get 5 7 and 5 gives you 12. So 2 will be here, 1 will be here, 7 8 9 10 11. It will be 4125. Now write 4125 centimeters square here, and next look at the decimals. Look at the numbers after the decimal. Here you have 1, here you have 1, and 1 plus 1 is 2. That means the decimal will appear, the decimal point will appear over here before 2 digits. Right, so this is how you can easily work out the multiplication of. Now looking at the word problem, it is also simple because see, the area of parallelogram is this. If the distance between the two parallel sides is 15, find the length of its sides. Now if I draw a parallelogram, for example this, now it says the distance between the two parallel lines, this is basically the distance, and this distance means height. So that means the height is basically 15, and you have to find the base, the length of its sides. Right, so that is area of parallelogram will be parallelogram, area of parallelogram is equal to b multiplied by h. Now the area is given as 645 and you have to find the base and the height is 15. Now 645 divided by 15 will be the base, because 15 taken to the left side will be changed into division. Now it will be 43. When you will divide these two numbers, it will give you 43 centimeter is equal to base. Now looking at the next question, the area of flake with two equal sides is this. What is the perpendicular distance from the tip of the flake to the third side, which is 14 centimeter in length? In this question, you need to identify the shape first, and if you will clearly look at the question, you will look for the keywords. You will come to know that the shape is a triangle. How? Because see, here it's given two equal sides, and here it's talking about the third side, which is this in length, and here it's talking about the tip. So that means basically it's a three-sided figure, which is basically a triangle. That means the shape looks like this. The flake looks like this. Now it says what is the perpendicular distance from the tip. This is basically the tip. What's the perpendicular distance from the tip to the other side, which is, now this side is 14 centimeter and these two sides are equal. So basically you have to find the height, which is unknown. So now you have to of course apply the formula for area of triangle. Area of triangle is equal to 1/2 multiplied by b multiplied by h. Now area of triangle given as 196, that is the area of the flake. This is basically our flake, which is triangular, right? 196 and 1/2. We know the base, that is 14, and we don't know the height. We have to find it. The perpendicular distance is the straight line from the tip to the third part, which is of course the height. So it will be 2 1 is 2 and 2 7 is 14. Now what you can do is 196 is equal to 7h. You need to bring 7 to the left side. 196 divided by 7 is equal to h. Now 196 divided by 7 is gonna give you 28 centimeter, as it's the height, so it will be written in centimeters. So the height is basically 28 centimeters. So dear viewers and dear students, thank you so much for watching. I hope so you understood the concept. If still you have any confusions, you can ask in the comment box below. Please do subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching.